Hey everyone, Fina here from Fina Reads. Welcome back to my channel today with a very tired June update. I am beyond tired. I haven't slept the last 2-3 nights. I don't even know anymore. Our puppers has us worried. First of all, we had the 4th of July fireworks that I don't think any dog really likes. So that was one night of pretty much no sleep. And then she has some weird thing on the side, like a lesion type of thing that we don't really know where it's coming from. We just know she had like a vet visit 2.5 weeks ago, and she came out of the from the vet with that. We first thought it was just dirt, but turns out it's something, and they don't really know. We don't really know. We just know she's not allowed to lick it. So now try to keep your dog that does not like to have anything on their body, aka no cone, try from licking something on their side. So that was night 2 then. And then night 3, on top of that, she had explosive diarrhea. She, like the new food that we got her, clearly she does not agree with. So we had 2 rather stinky incidents, which by the way is kind of funny because there was a stinky incident in one of the books that I read in June. So let's talk about that. This is June wrap-up part 2. I talked about the first half of June already, so if you want to deep dive into the books that I enjoyed in the first 2 weeks of June, do that. The link is down in the description. In this video, I want to wrap up all of June and then talk about the 2 books that I finished in the last 2 weeks, the books that I started in June, and then what I'm planning to read in July. So let's do that. In the month of June, I read a total of 6 books with 2,997 pages. 4 books were fantasy, 1 sci-fi, and 1 mystery book. This month has been fantastic. I had mostly books that I loved, only 1 book where I was like, I liked it, but I didn't love it. You can hear about that in my first part of the June wrap-up already. So the 4 books that I talked about in that wrap-up are Keeper 6, The Ghostwriter, Minders, and High King's Tomb. And High King's Tomb is book 3 in the Green Rider series. There will be more of that in the rest of the wrap-up. It was a very Green Rider heavy wrap-up. The one book that I talked about because I started it before the first video was The Witch Road by Kate Elliott. I finished that now. First of all, if you are interested in that, I did an interview with the author at the end of June, so you can go check that out in my, I believe it's in the live section of the videos, but I will put the link down in the description box below. It was so much fun. Kate Elliott is fantastic. She is such a knowledgeable person. It was just so much fun to talk with her about her writing process, her books, her characters, and some other fun random stuff. The main purpose of the live was to talk about her book, The Witch Roads, which is book 1 in a duology. And I'm actually currently, blanking on what the series is called. And it doesn't even say here anywhere. Well, that's great. That is not helpful. All right. Well, it's series with 2 books. 2 books is doable. Book 1 just came out at the beginning of June, and book 2 is coming out later this year in November, which is fantastic because this ending had me, y'all. This is the 3rd book by Kate Elliott that I'm reading, and I'm learning relatively quickly that she is an author that you just have to trust. She's not someone that in a whole bunch of infodumps explains to you how the world works, how the magic system works, where the characters are coming from, none of that. So she is basically throwing you into the story and then slowly revealing what's going on. So when I was at the halfway mark, I still wasn't fully sure where this is going, and if the MC that we're following is kind of the bad person or like a morally gray person. There were some interesting things happening. What I knew though is that the main character was incredibly fascinating, and the person she is traveling with, both of those have a great connection. It was great banter to observe. They had some great conversation. It was just a lot of fun. This is about Ellen, who is essentially a courier, a mail person, gets pulled into a journey that she doesn't really want to be part of, but kind of has to save herself and some people around her. And I want to be very vague because I hate spoiling stuff for you guys, right? I want you to experience the things the way I have experienced them. So I'm staying vague with the book, but it's essentially about that journey that she got pulled into and about all of the people that accompanying her, or that she is accompanying rather. It's a very layered world, even though it is such a simple story of that journey from A to B. You learn a lot about the royalty, the kind of like a caste system almost. You learn a lot about the main character's history, about the person she is traveling with. There's a lot of great stuff that you will discover there, and it's just a lot of fun. It is on the slower side, so be warned if you hate slow books. This is one of them, but it is so well done. I really enjoyed that slowly revealing story till we get to the end, where it is like I was sitting up in my, when I was at that scene. If you read it, you know. If you are about to read it, you will know very soon. There's a scene at the end where I sat up in my bed and was like, what? No. So yeah, needless to say, I'm excited for book 2. I already requested an ARC for that, so I will probably read it rather soon. I actually think I got an email earlier today that I was approved, so yay! Plus, I just love this cover. I love the color combination. I love the look and feel of it. I love these statues that you see here. You'll get to know those in the book, like what the meaning is of these statues. You'll get to know in the book. And yeah, I can highly recommend this. It's such a unique story. I love her storytelling style, and I am very excited to read more of Kate Elliott books. I have, after finishing this duology, I already have another of her series kind of eyed that I want to take a look at. So yeah. Awesome. And then, yeah, the rest is pretty much Green Rider. So I read book 3 at the beginning of June. And that is part of a read-along because book 8 is coming out at the end of September. And a bunch of folks, including Ian and Stacy and a whole bunch of other people, are buddy reading it right now. And we wanted to read one book a month leading up to the release. So then book 8 in October, because it's like September 30th or whatever is the release date. I was already completely behind. So in June, we were supposed to read Mirror Sight, I believe, which is book 5. You can math that up yourself. My brain is not capable of it today. And I felt a little bit left behind because Ian paced through the whole series. Like, he essentially binged the whole thing. That's how much he loved it, which I'm excited about. Like, I love that is happening. And I didn't quite feel like reading Black Veil, even though I love Black Veil and especially Mirror Sight right after. I think those are the 2 best books in the series. Book 6 is actually also really good. So that whole 3-book arc is my favorite arc, but I got approved for the arc for book 8, and I kind of didn't want to wait. I didn't want to read those hundreds of pages till I get to book 8. So what I did is I picked up Winterlight, which is book 7 in the Green Rider series, because this I only read, I believe, twice. So I definitely had to reread it again. I knew that before, that this was at a minimum. I had to read this to remind myself what was happening, because boy, there was a lot of stuff happening in book 7. The series kind of goes into new directions. You think she'll start to wrap things up. She opens up whole new story arcs and all that kind of stuff. So I had to read this again to kind of get back into the story and then know what to expect in book 8. So yeah, I will not talk much about it because spoilers. We're in book 7 at this point in the series. It's good. Like, this scene on the cover here always gives me tears. So it's one of the few books where I missed up just a little bit. So those are the 2 that I finished in June, which then now gets us into the books that I started in June and then brought into July, which is Falling in a Sea of Stars, book 8 in the Green Rider series. And again, I can't say much about it. I will have a separate review for that, and I will talk about it a bit more in my July wrap-up. So I started that in June. I didn't finish it in June. And the other book that I started was the audiobook for Before the Coffee Gets Cold, which is a buddy read. And yeah, I kind of knew, every time I heard someone talk about it, I kind of knew this is not the right book for me. While it is a romance, and I like to read a romance every now and then, it's not quite my vibe. It's an interesting premise. I definitely like the idea. I like that it's essentially 3 or 4, I believe, shorter stories in one book. With all the same premise. So I thought that was very interesting, but just the stories themselves were not really of interest to me. It has nothing to do with the book being bad or anything. It's just, so far, I'm in the middle of the 3rd story right now, or at the end of June, rather. Well, I haven't touched it since then. So that's where I'm still at. The audiobook is great. I really love the soothing voice, and I believe it fits the book and the vibe the book wants to give you very well, but it's just not my type of story. My favorite book of June, I think, has to be Keeper 6 by Kate Elliott. Again, I said I loved pretty much all of the books that I've read this month, so it was really hard to pick a favorite. Didn't want to pick a reread, so 2 books already fell away. I knew that this time it was not the John Marrs book that was a favorite. The Minders is so far the weakest book out of those that I've read by him. It was essentially between The Ghostwriter by Julie Clark, which was a great story, but my heart is with fantasy, so I had to pick one of the Kate Elliott books. Both are great. The Rich Roads and Keeper 6 are fantastic books, but I love Keeper 6 specifically because she put so much stuff in the 200 somewhat pages that still, I read it in early June and now it's over a month later, I'm still impressed by that. It is, again, a story that is slowly revealed. The world it is set in is slowly revealed, and she has such a talent to give you a vast thing from a story, world, and character perspective in 260 pages without it feeling rushed or clunky or anything. I found that fascinating. Plus, I really loved the story. I thought that, I mean, it's a portal fantasy with a hex which consists of 6 people that all have different abilities, and that group of people, the dynamic with them is fascinating. I loved watching them as they were going after their adventure. I loved the strong mother character because her son got kidnapped. You learned that right at the beginning of the book, and the book is essentially about finding her son and bringing him back home. It was fantastic. It was so deep, so layered, just so much good stuff in there that, I mean, there's a reason why I want to read more of her books, really. In July, what's next is obviously the next John Marrs book, which is a thriller again. And I'm really excited for that one because I tend to like the thrillers better than the sci-fi books. And then I talked about this before, the last book in the Veilborn series and the currently last available book in the Last Luminian series are still high up on my list because I want to continue a series and finish up some stuff. And I just want to know how they continue and how they're being finished, because my goodness, there's a lot of stuff happening in both of them. Then last month, I had the discovery of the Ragnar Jonasson book with the Holder series. I want to read book 2, which is available in my library and available on Kindle Unlimited, which I'm currently signed up for like a 3-month free type of thing. So I hope I'll get to that this month. I really want to know how that series continues. It was fantastic and it was just brilliantly done, especially the ending of book 1. And the way the ending of book 1 was done, I am really curious to see how the series continues. And then a hold on my library just came through, which is The Unworthy by Augustina. I don't know how to pronounce the last name. I apologize. I read Tender is the Flesh by her and loved it. It was so weird. Like, I don't even know how else to describe it. I mean, it was about cannibalism, so I don't know what to say. But it was like so weirdly well done. Not that I want to become a cannibal right now. Don't worry about it. But, you know, it was just very well done that I definitely want to read other books by her. And this one is being raved about. So I'm excited that my hold after like 18 weeks is finally came through. All right. What was your favorite book in June? What was the book that completely got you excited in the month of June? Let me know then in the comments. If you haven't yet, go check out my first half of June wrap up. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button because there's a really exciting video coming out very, very soon. I'm very curious what your thoughts are on that topic for that video. So hit the subscribe button so you don't miss it. And then I hope you all have an amazing rest of your day, and I'll see you soon with another video. Bye.